Well, we're going to welcome in our next guest. This is Tony Machi. He is an artist and author getting ready for his exhibit coming up at the Erie Art Museum. But Tony, welcome into First at 4.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, well, first tell us about the exhibit, because that's what people are going to be going to the exhibit, and then they'll be able to pick up your book as well. But let's start with the exhibit.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that I'm very sad that Tom, who was here before me, didn't leave us with 6 packs of knucklehead.
I know.
Thank you. I'm glad we got that out. You brought a sample.
But hopefully it's not a knucklehead. It's a book, part memoir, part art history. About a dozen years ago, I thought, if I don't document what I did back in the late 60s, early 70s at Edinburgh and here in Erie at WQLN, it'll all be gone. And no one will remember it. No one will even know about it. So I decided to write a book, find a publisher in the Erie Art Museum, and the second part of the vision was to launch the book at the opening of the exhibition.
Perfect. Tell us a little bit about the book. What are some of the highlights, some of the stories that you really felt needed to be shared?
Well, like I said, it's not entirely a memoir. Memoir is a very popular form of writing today, but I didn't just want it about me. Like I said, I did some significant work, but I wanted to highlight the artists and their work that inspired me, that influenced me to do what I did. And also just take a step back from art, because before art there was creativity. And that's something that's inside all of us. Some are born with a lot of it, and they're very talented people. Others, not so much, but it's there and it needs to be nurtured. But it's a part of all of us, and I think it's interesting and important for us to understand.
How long did it take you to put this book together?
Well, like I said, the idea came to me about a dozen years ago, so it's been all of that. There's an old saying that when writing a book, it's much like a comedian who tells a joke, but has to wait years before he knows whether or not it landed.
Yes, yes.
So it's extremely time consuming. There's a lot of research, and then the actual writing, but that's only half of it, because I wanted my book to be illustrated with lots of images. Only about a third of the book come from my archive. I had to then research the images to illustrate what I was talking about, especially in regards to the other artists.
Talk about the title, which I really love. We all look but rarely see.
Yes. There are lots of different ways to understand what that is. You can see it and understand it simply for one reason, which I cite early on in the book. When I was in high school, I had a very good high school art teacher who said to me, if you're going to paint from nature, paint what you see. Tree branches taper from one end to the other. That was an important lesson. But you can look at the title and think that there are many nuanced, different ways to interpret it. But then again, well, for example, Sherlock Holmes once asked his very good friend, Dr. Watson, to go camping with him one night. And in the middle of the night, Holmes woke Watson and said, "Look up and tell me what you see." And he said, "I see the heavens above." And Holmes said, "What do you deduce from that?" And Watson said, "That we're mere specks in this gigantic universe." And Holmes said, "No, you moron, someone stole our tent."
Right.
So sometimes what we're looking at is staring us back in the face, and we don't really see it.
And you can check this all out Thursday night at the Erie Art Museum from 6
Tomorrow,
to 8.
yeah.
Yeah, Tony, thank you so much for joining us today, and congratulations
Yeah,
on your
beautiful
book.
book.
When